There are simple things in life that people overlook because they seem too ordinary to matter. A handful of salt is one of them. It sits quietly in almost every home, used every day without much thought. Yet, throughout generations, many people have believed that salt is more than a seasoning. It has been treated as a symbol of purity, balance, and fresh beginnings. Whether or not one accepts every tradition, there is wisdom hidden in the habits that survive through time. Look carefully at your own life. How often do you search for complicated solutions while ignoring the small actions that quietly shape your daily experience? Peace rarely arrives through grand events. It is usually built through simple, mindful choices repeated with care. The old custom of placing salt in the corners of a home reminds us of this forgotten truth. It invites us to pause, to clean not only our surroundings but also our thoughts. When you walk into a room filled with clutter, your mind often feels heavy. When a room is clean and cared for, your heart naturally becomes lighter. The power is not only in the objects around you, but in the attention you give them. Salt becomes a symbol of intention. As you place it in the corners, you silently tell yourself that your home deserves peace, your family deserves harmony, and your own mind deserves calm. Many ancient cultures believed that corners collect stagnant energy because they are the places least noticed. Whether you understand this as spiritual symbolism or simply as a reminder to care for forgotten spaces, the lesson remains valuable. The neglected corners of a house often mirror the neglected corners of the heart. Small resentments, old worries, and silent fears gather quietly until they begin to influence every part of life. Imagine entering your home after a long day. Before speaking, before reaching for your phone, take a moment to notice the atmosphere around you. Ask yourself, what am I bringing into this space? Every emotion you carry becomes part of your home. Every word spoken with anger leaves an invisible mark. Every act of kindness fills the room with warmth. Salt cannot replace compassion, patience, or understanding, but it can become a meaningful ritual that reminds you to cultivate these qualities. The old school practice is beautifully simple. Place a small amount of salt in the four corners of a room with a peaceful mind. While doing so, let go of the day's frustrations. Release unnecessary worries. Choose gratitude instead of complaint. After some time, remove the salt and dispose of it. Then replace it with fresh salt if you wish to continue the practice. Whether you see it as a spiritual tradition or a mindfulness exercise, the true transformation begins inside you. Many people spend years waiting for their lives to change, believing that happiness depends on money, status, or perfect circumstances. Yet the greatest changes often begin with the smallest acts performed with full awareness. Sweeping the floor, opening the windows, lighting a candle, arranging a room, or placing salt in the corners. These actions teach discipline, presence, and respect for the place you call home. There is another lesson hidden within this tradition. Salt dissolves easily in water, yet it changes the entire taste of what it touches. Likewise, your attitude may seem invisible, but it influences everyone around you. A calm person brings calm into a room. A grateful heart spreads gratitude without speaking. A peaceful mind quietly encourages peace in others. Never mistake simplicity for weakness. The tallest tree begins as a tiny seed. The widest river starts as a narrow stream. Lasting transformation is rarely loud. It grows quietly through consistent habits and mindful living. If placing salt in the corners encourages you to reflect, clean your home, release emotional burdens, and create a peaceful environment, then the ritual has already served a meaningful purpose. Do not become attached to the salt itself. The real secret is not hidden in the grains, but in the awareness they awaken. Objects can remind us, but they cannot replace wisdom. The true cleansing happens when anger becomes forgiveness, when fear becomes courage, and when endless distraction becomes quiet attention. So before searching for another complicated answer, consider the simple traditions passed down through generations. Euhictates. Sometimes they survive, not because of magic, but because they encourage people to slow down, care for their surroundings, and care for themselves. A peaceful home begins with a peaceful heart. Every corner you clean outside invites you to clean a forgotten corner within. And when the inside becomes clear, the outside often begins to change as well. Perhaps that is the greatest old school trick of all. Not that salt changes everything by itself, but that it gently reminds us to become the kind of person who can transform any place into a home filled with calm, kindness, and quiet joy. The power of simple rituals. Small, mindful actions, like placing salt in the corners of a home, can serve as reminders to cultivate peace, intention, and gratitude in everyday life. There is a quiet strength hidden within simple actions. In a world that constantly encourages people to chase bigger achievements, faster results, and more complicated solutions, the smallest habits are often forgotten. Yet it is these humble rituals that gently shape the quality of daily life. Placing a small amount of salt in the corners of a room is not about expecting instant miracles. Instead, it is an invitation to slow down and act with purpose. As you perform this simple task, you create a moment to become fully present, letting go of distractions and turning your attention toward peace and balance. The true value of the ritual is found in the intention behind it. When your hands move with care and your mind is filled with gratitude rather than worry, even an ordinary action becomes meaningful. This practice reminds you that lasting change begins with awareness, not complexity. Every mindful choice, no matter how small, helps build a calmer home and a steadier heart. Just as a single drop of water creates ripples across a still pond, one thoughtful habit can influence your mood, your relationships, and the atmosphere around you. Simple rituals become powerful because they encourage consistency, mindfulness, and a deeper appreciation for the present moment. Clean your inner and outer space. The neglected corners of a home symbolize the overlooked parts of the mind and heart. Clearing physical clutter encourages emotional and mental clarity. The space around you often reflects the condition of your inner world in ways that are easy to overlook. When a room is filled with dust, clutter, and neglected corners, it can quietly influence your thoughts, making the mind feel restless and heavy. In the same way, emotions that are ignored, such as resentment, fear, regret, or worry, can gather within the heart until they begin to shape your daily life. Taking time to clean your home becomes more than a household task. It becomes a gentle reminder to clear away what no longer serves you, both inside and outside. As you sweep the floor, open the windows, or place a little salt in the corners with mindful intention, you also have the opportunity to release old burdens and make room for peace. Every corner you care for encourages you to notice the forgotten places within yourself that may need compassion and attention. A clean environment supports a calm mind, just as a peaceful mind brings warmth and harmony into a home. Lasting change does not happen all at once. It begins with small acts of care, repeated consistently, until both your surroundings and your inner life reflect the balance, clarity, and quiet strength you wish to cultivate. Transformation begins within. Salt itself is not presented as magical. Its true value lies in inspiring self-reflection, forgiveness, patience, and a calm state of mind. Many people search for change by looking outside themselves, believing that a new opportunity, a different place, or a special object will transform their lives. Yet lasting change begins in a much quieter place. It begins with the thoughts you choose to hold, the words you speak, and the actions you repeat each day. A simple tradition, such as placing salt in the corners of a room, can serve as a gentle reminder of this truth. The salt itself is not the source of transformation. Its value lies in the awareness it inspires. As you perform the ritual, you are invited to pause, breathe, and reflect on what you wish to release and what you hope to welcome into your life. This moment of intention encourages you to let go of anger, replace fear with courage, and exchange constant worry for inner calm. When your mind becomes clearer, your choices naturally become wiser, and your relationships often grow more peaceful. True cleansing is not about changing the world around you before changing yourself. It is about allowing compassion to replace judgment, gratitude to replace complaint, and patience to replace frustration. When these inner qualities begin to grow, they quietly influence every part of your life, proving that the deepest transformation always starts from within before it is ever seen on the outside. Your energy shapes your environment. The attitude and emotions you bring into your home influence its atmosphere. A peaceful heart naturally creates a more harmonious living space. Every home carries more than furniture, decorations, and walls. It also reflects the emotions, attitudes, and intentions of the people who live within it. The atmosphere of a place is shaped not only by what can be seen, but also by the way people speak, think, and treat one another. When you enter a room filled with kindness, patience, and gratitude, you often feel a sense of comfort without knowing exactly why. In the same way, constant anger, worry, or negativity can quietly affect the mood of an entire home. This is why your inner state matters so deeply. A peaceful heart has a gentle influence that reaches beyond words. Simple practices, such as placing salt in the corners of a room, can become reminders to check the energy you bring into your surroundings each day. Before expecting your environment to feel calm, ask whether your own thoughts are calm. Before wishing for harmony in your relationships, consider whether your words are spoken with compassion and respect. Every smile, every patient response, and every act of forgiveness adds warmth to the place you call home. Although no object can create peace on its own, your daily choices certainly can. When you nurture a spirit of gratitude, understanding, and quiet confidence, that inner peace naturally spreads to those around you, creating an environment where trust, joy, and harmony can gently flourish. Small habits create lasting change. Meaningful transformation rarely comes from dramatic events. Consistent, intentional practices performed with awareness can gradually change both your mindset and your daily life. Many people believe that life changes only through dramatic moments or extraordinary opportunities, but the most meaningful transformation is often the result of small, consistent actions repeated over time. A single thoughtful habit may seem insignificant at first, yet its influence grows quietly with each passing day. The simple practice of placing salt in the corners of a room serves as a reminder that lasting change is built through intention rather than excitement. More important than the salt itself is the mindset you bring to the ritual. Each time you pause to care for your home with attention and gratitude, you strengthen the habit of mindfulness. These small moments teach patience, discipline, and appreciation for the present instead of constantly chasing the future. Just as a tiny seed, when nurtured daily, eventually becomes a strong tree, small positive habits gradually shape your character and your way of living. You may not notice the difference after a single day, but over weeks and months your thoughts become clearer, your reactions become calmer, and your home begins to reflect the peace you are creating within yourself. Great achievements are rarely the result of one grand decision. They are built from countless quiet choices made with care. When simple habits are practiced with sincerity and consistency, they become the foundation for a balanced, peaceful, and deeply fulfilling life.